Okay, so I want to make a slow speed grinder for doing carbide, and mostly for doing the angles I put on the punches I make for the coin ring tools. I used to have a little setup on an old one of the Clark little disc sander and belt sanders, but the motor's burnt out on that, so I've got to make a new one. I've made a temporary thing which is a bit dangerous. So what I'm going to do is this is the actual disc off the disc sander part of the Clark one. I'd already put a little spacer in there so it takes these 6-inch diamond discs, and I'm going to try and use that. And what I got off a mate of mine is this motor. It's not a particularly powerful motor. I don't remember what the power is on it. 0.13 kilowatts, so it's not so bad, but it's got a 10-to-1 gearbox on it, and it's 2,500 rev motor, so the spindle actually turns through the gearbox at about 250, which is about right for what I want. And I've got some 4x2 box here, so I'm going to cut a lump of this off, bolt this to it, make an adapter for the back of this to go onto the shaft here, so it's sticking out here. Probably cut another bit of this, weld it to that, and then figure out some sort of table for it. But the first thing I've got to do is make a spacer for this. Well, not a spacer, an adapter, so I can get it on this shaft, and cut a lump of this off and bolt this to this. So let's get that done. Right, he's in the saw, and while that's cutting, I'll pop over to the lathe and make something for the motor to the plate. There's a 9.5mm drill. I've got a feeling this might be stainless. It's just a bit of scrap I took out of my box. I was just getting that best position I possibly could in the chuck. It's got a couple of thousand run out. Alright, so now I've got to turn this down to this diameter. There's 2 diameters in the end of this. Right at the very end there's slightly smaller diameter with a little flat on it, so I'm going to have to sort of guesstimate that and then file or mill that flat off. But first of all, I've got to get it 13.19mm. I'll do this in thousandths so I can use my lathe because it's met imperial. So that's 521 thou. And 18 mil deep. Some knacker off of that. Right, that's a lovely fit on that. Right, now I've got to try and measure the bottom bit in here. I just need to tap the end of this. I'm just going to put a 6mm tape in there, then take it over the mill and put the flat on it. Just going to tap this with the jog function with the tailstock loose. So that's that bit made. You can see the two diameters now a bit more clear. That's the 10mm hole up there. That's the flat I had to mill on it, which is up inside there, but I don't know if the camera will pick it up. And as like I say, I just put a flat on there, put a little grub screw in there to hold it on the shaft. Fits nice and tightly on the shaft. Just nip him up with a grub screw, and then this fits on. Like that. I'm just going to have to make another little space that to go in there. I mean, these are pretty much the same size, these holes, and they're little spaces just to come out the same thickness as these diamond discs I'm using. And then threaded that up the middle with this 6mm nut bolt screw, and that needs cutting off a little bit, and they'll go on there. And it all spins quite nice. This wire of course is round the wrong way. I'll whip this off in a bit and see if I can turn that round. But now I've got to figure out a table for it, and I've got some of this, it's about 1 inch and a bit square, which I've got left over from something. So what I'm thinking of doing is cutting this bit somewhere or another. I ain't measured it yet. Put a post here, make a U-shaped bit, weld the corners up so that it's slot these, slot the bit that comes across here, so it's pretty infinitely variable. I just got to make sure I leave enough room for it to come in and past the disc. Right, so shall I cut some of them? So the lengths of these ain't super critical, but rather than messing about, I can swing this round and clamp it up and cut the 45s. If you just put this one to the 45 you want, you can move this through, hold it where you need, and then like I say, the lengths of these are not super critical. One done. Alright, so this is where I've got to. These are the upright bits with the slots in them. They're going to go there and get them welded onto that. And I've got these side bits done with slots in them. All cut. Ready for welding up. I'm going to weld them on there like that, and that's my next job. Get them welded on. Get my little stick welder out. This is my little stick welder. It's pretty much as basic as you can get it. It's a silver line job. It come out of tool station, was about 50 quid when I bought it. Don't really come much cheaper. It's not brilliant, but it does do the job. I think I paid nearly as much for me welding helmet. Anyway, let's get on and see if I can weld these up. Now, while welding is not brilliant. Here it is, welded up. I think it's fair to say my welding leaves a lot to be desired, but anyway, it's on there. And so this is the gist of it. These are the side bits. It's slotted up and down, backwards and forwards. That's going to fit on there like that. And I'm going to have to weld these posts onto this base, and I'm going to make a little aluminium table to sit on here. I'll drill and tap this and make the table adjustable in and out as well. So I need to cut this to a reasonable length once I've decided where I want to cut it, and make the little table for it, which is just cutting a bit of aluminium and putting some slots in it and some recesses for the bolts, so I can do it up on there where they don't get in the way. Crappy old welding needs work, as my school reports used to say. Did get lucky, that lump of bar I had, that lump of box, that's all that's left. Just about had enough. Literally, just the 45s cut off of that, and that was all that was spare. Lucky there. Well, short of a bit of tarting up, bit of painting and putting some covers on it, I thought this was going to be the end of me slow speed grinder project. This is the base with the T-slots that I'll put on there. I've just got everything on little nuts at the moment. I shall make some little knobs to put on these so I can move them about quicker. Unfortunately, there's a problem. I mean, this is just the old switch off of the Clark belt sander that I nicked the bits off to do this. I mean, it works alright, goes, spins nice and slow. The problem is this little bracket here. It's just not strong enough to hold it. Don't know whether the camera will pick this up, but don't have to put hardly any pressure on this. And it wobbles about a bit on the bracket. Consequently, this goes backwards and forwards and makes it really hard to grind anything. It's not the end of the world, I've got to be honest with you. I had the right hump when I realised what was going on, but the rest of it's alright. I managed to turn this all round and get the wiring out of the way, and I was going to build a little shroud around it, which I will do, but now I'm going to have to move the motor back, put this on a separate shaft with bearings in it and just drive it off of the motor rather than driving it directly off the motor. Oh, that's it for this one. I'm not going to do it now because I've got the hump with it, but I'll keep you updated and show you the finished one when I get around to doing it, but I ain't got time now, so that's going to have to be for another day. Well, that's it for this one. Bye for now.